I think it's safe to say that commentary has no shortage of creators. Most of which end up leaving due to either outside sources, them doing genuinely bad things, or just losing passion for videos. Today, we're going to be looking at a YouTuber who, at his peak, had amassed over 1 million subscribers, and just as quickly as he got it, left the YouTube scene seemingly overnight. This is a story of Diesel Patches, and why he left YouTube. Diesel Patches started off his channel in March of 2015, and surprisingly, didn't start off making what you would have expected. His first form of content was TikTok cringe compilations. A little out of the norm for what his channel would become, but hey, we all start off somewhere. These videos, however, would gather hundreds of thousands of views per upload, which, for someone who had just a couple of thousand subscribers, was pretty impressive. However, it wouldn't be long till he posted his first commentary video.
I've never actually done this before. After all the cringe I've been through, I've never had to make a response video. Until now. Lay Pawns is the first to be worthy of a commentary. I guess the thing that bugs me the most about her is not the fact that she's incredibly unfunny, but the fact that she has nearly 6 million subs.
This video is nothing special, but it didn't need to be, and that's what made Diesel Patches charming. And personally, I think that's what commentary needed at the time. A person who just sat in front of the microphone and said whatever came to mind. Diesel had begun to grow a larger following after continuing to upload commentary videos, and it wouldn't be long till he reached 100k subs. Now, it goes without saying that if you're constantly making commentary on current topics, you're bound to get something wrong. This was no different with Diesel either.
While he's unfortunately fallen off now, there was a point in YouTube history where Idubbbz was genuinely feared. Content Cop as a series had a reputation of ending careers, and one retaliating Alifi is what most people attribute to originally killing his channel. Idubbbz, as cringe as it sounds, commanded a sense of respect among the YouTube community, a respect not many others would come even close to. But in the spring of 2020, all of that would change. Ian became a very divisive figure due to committing the cardinal sin of letting his girlfriend have autonomy.
For those of you who are unaware of the drama I recently brought upon myself, I'll fill you in. My girlfriend started an OnlyFans account, which is a website where you can upload amateur porn. Anything from double penetration all the way over to lewd cosplay and everything in between. And I think all of it is cool. Yeah, I know. I didn't think it would be a controversial opinion either.
Ian's now wife, Anissa, had recently started an OnlyFans account to the absolute ire of people who watched Idubbbz on the internet. Personally, I'd feel a bit odd if my partner was posting porn on the internet, but ultimately that's their decision. And if Ian don't give a shit, more power to him, yeah? I mean, if the bird was going out and getting railed every night, maybe it'd be a bit more reasonable, but she wasn't. Probably. Ian was called out for letting his girlfriend have an OnlyFans by a ton of YouTubers, with one of the most vocal being none other than Diesel Patches.
For years now, we've simply stood by and watched Idubbbz's girlfriend act like a toxic thought, but we kept saying to ourselves, you know, while Idubbbz's girlfriend is complete AIDS, at least he's not directly affecting her behavior. Until now. Yeah, before, we gave him a pass because he technically wasn't being hypocritical or anything, plus he's one of the most loved YouTubers on the website, but now he's definitely acting like a hypocrite. I mean, Idubbbz's girlfriend is the type of people Idubbbz would make fun of, or at least used to, because he doesn't do content cops anymore.
The main criticism towards Ian was that he was edgy, but also let his girlfriend have an OnlyFans. I mean, the piece of evidence I saw of people equating most was that clip of him standing in front of a green screen and going, "You're a whore," which was a 100% serious video that he definitely agrees with. Call Ian cringe, whatever, for it. But there were a lot of people who seemed to be genuinely upset about this revelation, with Diesel seemingly falling into this camp himself, sounding genuinely annoyed at points during these videos.
From what we've seen over the years, we can kind of have a good idea about what kind of person you are. You've talked a lot of shit, and the fact that you have a girlfriend that's pretty much a complete bitch, it does warrant some criticism. And because of her, you're acting like a fucking tool bag.
Diesel even goes as far as to outright say Idubbbz should break up with his girlfriend, which is an incredibly weird thing to say to someone you don't know.
An appropriate response would be to call out his fake-ass girlfriend, to break up with her, and admit he was wrong. And yes, I do think breaking up with her is the right thing to do.
Looking back, this drama was incredibly strange, mainly due to the sheer amount of people acting as if they knew what was best for Ian. I mean, like I just showed. I mean, you can say who cares in response to most of Diesel Patches videos, but I feel like this one especially because the rest of them at least have some substance to them, and there are less serious ones that don't treat the situation like it's a huge deal for a reason. Ultimately though, this is one mistake that Diesel is seemingly taken back due to the big outdated tag on these videos. From that, you can reasonably assume he disagrees with these. I mean, with the style of rapid algorithm pleasing videos Diesel did, it was inevitable that he would get some things wrong. He'd have some shit takes every now and again. But this was only a sign of things to come. Unfortunately, that's all I have time for. I have my own content crimes to stop.
During Diesel's time doing commentary content on YouTube, one of his biggest fuck-ups was the handling of the Pyrocynical situation. For those who aren't exactly in the loop, in October of 2020, Pyro was accused of grooming a 15-year-old boy when he himself was 19. When this situation was coming out at first, Diesel made a video called Pyrocynical Accused of Grooming, where he went over what had come out at the time and didn't take any definitive stance. Instead, he stated that Pyro was innocent until proven guilty. And while he was critical of certain aspects of the story, he urged people not to pick a side immediately.
It seems that someone is accusing Pyrocynical of being a little naughty. More specifically, he was sending fetish material such as hot furry sex or vor. So yeah, apparently Pyro sent this type of material over to a 15-year-old on Discord. Do I think he did it? I can't say because there isn't any proof. So to me, Pyro is innocent until we actually see some evidence.
Now, this isn't what I have an issue with. In fact, if he had only left it at one video, I don't think anyone would have an issue with his coverage of this. He was genuinely fair in the video and didn't bash either side like a lot of other channels were doing at the time. But where the real problem comes in is his next few videos about the situation. Instead of Diesel just simply waiting a little bit to make a proper video, he would make a new video every time a major update would come from it, which would be fine if this was any normal YouTube drama that he was covering, but these were very serious allegations, ones that could potentially be career ruining. They needed to be handled with care, and to say the very least, Diesel didn't do that. Instead, he just made videos to cash in on the drama, causing a mess of information regarding the entire thing. It is important to note that Diesel isn't the only one to make this mistake, however. This was something that the entire commentary community, including him, fucked up on. Instead of waiting for every bit of information to come out about a serious situation like this, other gameplay commentary channels would just make new ones every time a major update happened. And that would be fine if this was a normal drama. I understand people wanted to cash in on drama for some quick views. I don't give a shit. But when there's a situation as serious as the Pyrocynical allegations were, shit needs to be handled with way more care. Misinformation can start to spread like wildfire, and what actually happened can be complicated to figure out to the wider audience that watches these channels. Another thing that tended to happen is how often the narrative switched. People went from Pyrocynical's side of the situation to his supposed victim's side, then back to Pyro's. And this flip-flopping mainly had to do with what the public narrative was at the time, and they seemingly switched so their channels didn't get a massive amount of backlash. And I'd argue that Diesel was guilty of this as well. He had a lot of pressure on his back from the commentary community at large to be at the right side of the story, especially from Turkey Tom in his videos about Pyro.
After providing this as evidence, many people were still in disbelief at the news, or they felt that there was a possibility that they were lying. This is also when people began releasing videos about the subject. Diesel Patch just put out a video where he said that the messages didn't seem like something that Pyro would say, and that he wasn't willing to completely believe these allegations yet without solid proof that the messages were real.
So whenever new updates would occur in the situation, he would make new videos with new information, which in the end caused way more harm than good. But after the heavy backlash regarding the entire thing, Diesel did apologize. He essentially admitted to his mistakes while covering the entire thing, said sorry, and promised that he wouldn't cover subjects like this anymore, which I respect a lot. If he's not able to handle covering shit like this with the patience and seriousness that it takes, then he shouldn't cover it at all, and I'm glad that he was able to realize that in the end. He had actually learned something from the entire situation, which is something I can't really say for other people who cover the story, like Prism8 Luke. So while this was a big fuck up, he was at the very least able to move past it, and not make a similar fuck up like this again. But overall, while Diesel did fuck up in this instance, he was at the very least able to apologize and make it up to his fans for everything that happened. That's something that I could seriously respect, since not a lot of people are able to admit where they were wrong and can actually improve. That might seem like a low bar for someone to reach, but this is the internet for fuck's sakes. I don't think the bar can be any higher, to be honest. There are other things that I could cover for this part, but this is all I wanted to focus on, so for now, I'll be taking my leave. Thanks to Spinnling for letting me on the video, and I'll let him continue with it.
As Diesel continued to upload more and more, he would eventually hit the 1 million subscriber mark. This would be followed up by Diesel talk about his channel and everything that he'd experienced throughout his time on YouTube.
And while I've had fun on this channel, it's also been kind of a roller coaster. I've made a few mistakes, maybe made a vid or two that I might consider to be a bad take now. I will say since I made my channel 3 years ago, I have changed my opinion quite a bit. I don't know, I feel like I took things a little too seriously when I first started out. For example, when I talked about the Idubbbz situation, I asked him to break up with his current girlfriend in order to save his image, which is a pretty immature take. Like, it's not that fucking serious. Obviously, we can still make jokes about it, because the thought of Ian getting cucked by Big Black Tyrone is still hilarious to me.
It was also stated in this video that he would be taking a break from his main channel and focusing more on his second channel, which, for someone who had been slowly decreasing the amount of uploads beforehand, wasn't unexpected. This short-term break, however, soon turned into a full month of inactivity. As fans waited for Diesel's return, they would soon be met with an update.
So, a month ago, I uploaded a video saying I will take a break and then come back to this channel when I feel like it. But now, I'm done with school. But most importantly, I got a job. Yippee. So, what does this all mean? Well, as I've said in my last video, I've been pretty burnt out. I thought taking a break for a month would help with that. But if I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really into making this type of content anymore.
It was also discussed on ZunnyV2's channel that the main reason why he also quit YouTube was due to him finding a good paying job. It was no secret that Diesel's biggest motivator for making videos was money, and now that he had found a job that would see him having steady earnings, it's no surprise as to why he decided to leave. It's also very common for YouTube to be dodgy with monetization, and with Diesel's past experiences with having his entire channel stripped from being able to make money, it would also make sense, seeing as if he continued to do YouTube as a job, there would be a good chance that he might be demonetized for good. This video marked the end of an era for Diesel patches and an era for YouTube, and as someone who was incredibly inspired by Diesel, he's the reason why I even make commentary videos, I was disheartened to hear this, just like all his other fans. And after a while, he stopped uploading to his second channel as well. It seemed like Diesel had given up on YouTube entirely. To most fans, it seemed like the Diesel Patches channel was just a piece of YouTube history, never to be heard from again. That is, until Diesel returned a year later. It was honestly a pleasant surprise to see Diesel's return, even if it was just for an update. Speaking of which, the update doesn't actually go in depth as to his sudden reappearance. Instead, he talks about how he and his girlfriend had broken up.
I just wanted to stop in the neighborhood and wish you all a happy holidays. A lot of things have happened since I've been off of YouTube. For example, my girlfriend and I did break up. It's kind of awkward though because she has a YouTube channel and people keep commenting, hey, when are you guys gonna stream together again? But that shit's not happening. She's acting like I don't exist, which is super fucking petty and immature and childish, and I hate her.
Even if it was just for the odd update, it was still nice to hear from Diesel, and ever since, he's continued to upload short commentaries, such as talking about the Velma show to making memes.
Diesel Patches has completely quit YouTube. Seems like an official declaration being that Diesel Patches is pretty much finished with the internet.
And hopefully, he'll continue to upload, even if it is just to post memes. The story of Diesel Patches can be summed up to passion versus money. As we can see from Diesel's leaving video, not only did he lose passion for commentary videos, but also found a job, which would ultimately end up in him deciding to quit. But strangely, he decided to return, which I find interesting. If Diesel really wanted to make YouTube his full-time job, he could have gone on to become one of the most notable people in the community. As someone who watched Diesel for a majority of my time in commentary, I can safely say that he's the sole reason for me making commentary videos at all. And I want to thank Diesel for that, even if he doesn't see this video, let alone this part. But anyway, thank you all for watching this video, and until next time, Frog Lives Matter.